In this section, we want to write a formal proof for the trig identity 1 plus sine x divided by 1 minus sine x is equal to tan x plus secant x squared. So we're going to break this down into two problems. Number one, we're going to first verify that this identity is true, and in number two, we'll write down the formal proof of it. Let's rewrite the identity that we're trying to show. And let's go ahead and rewrite the right-hand side in terms of sine and cosine. So we have tan x is sine x divided by cosine x plus secant x, which is just 1 over cosine x. And this is all raised to the second. Now combining this to be one fraction, we get sine x plus 1 divided by cosine x squared. And this is raised to the second power. Simplifying this, we get that this is going to be equal to sine x plus 1 raised to the second divided by cosine squared x. And we can replace our cosine squared x with a 1 minus sine squared x. So this is equal to, and the top part is still sine x plus 1 raised to the second. Now we can factor the bottom out to be a 1 plus sine x times a 1 minus sine x. Then upstairs we still have our sine x plus 1 raised to the second. Now we can go ahead and cancel out one of the sine x plus 1's on the top and one on the bottom. And what we have is that this is then going to be equal to sine x plus 1 divided by 1 minus sine x. So we just verified that this is true. So let's go ahead and write up a formal proof of this. So here's our trig identity again. And to start off the proof, we'll write the word proof. And we'll write it out step by step. So step number one, rewrite the right-hand side in terms of sine and cosine. All right? And then our equation becomes the following. Then, in step number two, combine the fractions on the right-hand side to be one fraction. In step three, we replace the cosine squared x on the right-hand side with a 1 minus sine squared x. Then, in step four, we factor out the 1 minus sine squared x to be 1 minus sine x times 1 plus sine x. And then we cancel sine x plus 1 on the top and the bottom of the right-hand side. And what we see is that on the right-hand side, we have a sine x plus 1 divided by 1 minus sine x, which is equal to the left-hand side, 1 plus sine x divided by 1 minus sine x. And this is what we call a formal proof of the identity.